Hi guys, it's Joy. I'll tell you what, y'all. This has been, I don't know about you guys, right? I hope everybody's having a good day. Before I actually get into it, I love this hoodie. Have you guys seen this one? It's this real fun, like teal-ish green. I'm really into like teal green blues. I love those colors. I don't have enough of them, but I love them. Today was such a frustrating day. I'm not gonna lie or sit here exaggerate. Like, I had several frustrating things happen. I was venting, I was irritated, like not the best of days. One of my videos didn't do very well, and that's okay, right? It's YouTube, that happens. And you know, I was going through the episode 3 of the Onision Docuseries, right? And so I'm getting stuff ready, and then I see Trisha and Ethan came out with something right around the time I put something out, and that was frustrating because what I put out was about D'Angelo Wallace, so it was kind of confusing, and I was just like, it's a frustrating day, right? And I try so hard on my YouTube channel to grow it, and it's hard because I'm chronically sick. I already do a lot of content for one person, so it's just a little bit frustrating, but then everything lit up. And I was like, what is this? This is not a drill. It's not a joke. It is not an exaggeration. Apparently, Onision has been fully removed from the YouTube Partner Program. I'm not making this up. This is a thing. YouTube has finally, after how many years and how many videos, taken steps to remove him from the platform. Now, I think it's just for making money, right? I think it's just the YouTube Partner Program. I think he can still upload unless there's something I don't know, but it looks like he's got a permaban. But don't take it from me. Let's hear from Onion himself. Let's check it out.
About 10 years ago, Shiloh made me a promise.
Your career's been and finished. Trust me, I'm capable of it. Now I actually want to destroy you because you've destroyed me. You're done. And then you'll be left with nothing.
Shortly after the police showed up, because I had called the police on her, and they physically escorted her out of my house. But as I said, Shiloh threatened my career. She said she wanted to destroy me for dumping her. She said I'd be left with nothing after she's done ruining my life. And of course, the reason the police took her away is because she threatened to take her own life because I broke up with her. And she specifically stated that she was going to make it look like I did it, i.e. framing me for her suicide. This is on onision.com/Shiloh, a page with tons of content that proves my innocence and proves why I left her in the first place. But to the internet, none of these facts matter. Same goes for onision.com/Sarah, where Sarah confesses that I didn't do anything illegal and that I was actually trying to defend her and take care of her, and that I was keeping her from illegal activities, that I was keeping her away from drugs and so forth, and that I was actually keeping her safe in general. But again, none of these facts matter. None of her admissions of what she did wrong matters. The only thing that matters is that people do not like me, and that is internet justice. Guilty until proven guilty. And even when you're proven not guilty, you're still guilty. So as you know, Tom Felton was accused of grooming once upon a time. You guys are no doubt familiar with Johnny Depp being accused of things that he didn't do. You got Ellen DeGeneres accused of numerous things. For a time, it appeared her show might shut down. Elton John was accused of sexual harassment. He was even accused of pedophilia at one point, and yet the charges were dropped, so it makes you wonder if it was ever real. My point is that these people and numerous others have been accused. Many have never been proven guilty of anything. Yet that doesn't mean that society doesn't ruin people's lives, regardless of whether or not they have any evidence that they are actually guilty of what they're being accused of. So here's an email from YouTube essentially telling me that I can no longer make money on YouTube. It looks like they had a whole speech planned just for me, but who knows, maybe this could be a carbon copy email of what they send a lot of people who are accused of random things. But unfortunately, after about 14 years on the platform, because of Shiloh following through with her promise to destroy my life, destroy my career, leave me with nothing, here I am with this email telling me that everything I've worked for has come to an end. And even though she was hauled away by the police, even though the police have repeatedly sided with me whenever she and I had a dispute, all you have to do is type in Shiloh lies and multiple videos about how problematic she is, how dishonest she is, how disturbingly unstable she is. None of this matters. So I know in Shiloh's head this is justice to her, that she can punish the man who dumped her for cheating on him and getting pregnant with someone else's baby. Like she can punish the person who broke up with her for cheating on him, for lying to him, for betraying him. She can now ruin his life on top of everything else she's already done. I'm sure in her world this seems like justice. So all I can really do is admit defeat and congratulate Shiloh on finally getting what she wanted, because she did get what she wanted and she followed through on her promise to destroy me. And with that being said, I'm going to go ahead and part ways with y'all with, you guessed it, Banana Song.
Oh my goodness. It's a good day. It's a good day when YouTube finally takes steps to remove people who have predatory behaviors and act like predators. I have a lot to say, but let's look at that email first that they sent him. I am very curious about this. Let's take a look at this a little more in depth. Okay, I've just screenshotted it right from the video, and it looks like, I'm assuming it was today, it says 42 minutes ago. It says, YouTube, notice regarding your channel's monetization status. It says, hi James. Responsibility is our #1 priority at YouTube, and it's important for us to ensure that creators are empowered to use their influence responsibly in the YouTube community and beyond. With that in mind, we recently reviewed your channels, Onion Speaks, and Uh-Oh Bro, and took action on content that violated our community guidelines. We are also concerned about continued allegations of off-platform behavior related to child safety that could cause significant harm to the community, violating our creator responsibility guidelines within our YouTube partner program policies. These guidelines explain that we don't allow egregious behavior that has a large negative impact on the community. Additionally, this means you should be respectful of your viewers, your fellow creators, and our advertisers both on and off YouTube. Therefore, we have determined that your channels, Onion Speaks, and Uh-Oh Bro, will be indefinitely suspended from the YouTube Partner Program and no longer eligible for monetization. Once the suspension goes into effect on January 20th, so tomorrow, you will no longer have access to monetization tools and features, including online creator support. Your 3 channels and any new channels you create will not be eligible to apply for monetization in the future. This is a permaban, a permanent ban. This is what this means for your channels. You'll continue to have access to most creator features on YouTube to manage your videos. You can upload, edit, or delete your videos, read, respond to, or moderate your comments, analyze your channel performance in YouTube analytics. There's no change to how your videos are promoted in our search and recommendation system. Note that as mentioned in the partner program terms, the YouTube terms of service continue to apply to your use. Regards, YouTube team support. I think most of us wondered if this day would ever come. I was just getting comments on videos going, nobody's ever going to hold him accountable. I'm shocked. I'm really, really shocked. I am a little bit concerned, which I will tell you in the end. I made a prediction today, and I wonder if we're starting to see it happen. So let me first go over some of what Greg said. He pulled up Shiloh saying, I'm going to destroy you, this, that, and the other. Here's the thing, and this is addressed to Greg, not that he's watching, and I want to be as respectful as I can, but Greg, for the last, how many years has it been? It's been almost 10 years that this Shiloh saga has been going on. She did almost everything she could in 10 years to publicly distance herself from you. At every chance you could, you brought up your relationship with a minor, with a child, and somebody that you put through extreme trauma. You brought it up as much as you possibly could for attention. Shiloh even had her lawyer at one point. I think it was in 2017. There's a video somewhere of it. I'm sure I have it somewhere because I did a video on this. Call and ask you to remove those videos of her having PTSD, traumatic episodes. What she says her doctors now have said these were like trauma-based seizures. You filmed her having a seizure. She lost her memory and you refused to get her any help. But you consistently call her the crazy one. And in her state of traumatic possible mania because of what she was going through being there, which I've outlined in all the videos I've done, I find it very interesting because she said those words. She tried to have nothing to do with you. She tried to part ways with you. You consistently brought her up. She asked you remove the videos because as a minor, I don't think she could really, and I have to look into this, but I don't think she could really give consent to be in those videos. And you wouldn't do it. I assume there's going to be some issue between Canadian law and US law, and maybe that's why this couldn't go into court more than it did. I would be very interested to hear. Or maybe there's something about the fact that she's, you know, between 16, 17, 18, 19. You know, I don't think she was 19 when they were together or whatnot, because he likes them young. But in regard to all of that, I'm only going to, I'm going to assume that there might be some weird thing because this is between two different countries. I would love to see that information. You did all of those things to her, and then you continued to bring in young girl after young girl after young girl to try to join a very toxic throuple or a square or whatever you were trying to do. So many creators like me and others risked a lot and got a lot of crap raising alarms about what you were doing. Instead of trying to take all this in, see that you were damaging young women and young people and grow as a person, you double, triple, and quadrupled down. You didn't take the time away and the humility to look at yourself, your channel, what you are creating, what message you've been putting out on this platform, and to see your errors. Because in Onision's mind, at least what he presents to us, he really comes across as this blameless person. He's a forever victim. This is why you got removed. You keep saying they're false allegations. Well, yes, you haven't had any criminal charges yet, but it doesn't mean they're false. It just means you're real good at manipulating young people to get rid of evidence, in my opinion. I could be wrong. Maybe and here's the thing. Regardless of all of that, okay, you seem to think as long as you don't get in trouble by the police, it's okay. It's not okay to keep bringing out teens and groom them. It's not okay for you and Kai to play with young teenagers like that. Emotionally, romantically. It's not okay. You guys basically had Sarah. You had her in there to groom her. And right around when she turns the legal age. It was so sad. You know what was really sad for me? I heard this earlier today when I was watching the documentary again. I've been piecing it together for other videos I'm going to do. And to hear Sarah relive her experience, I didn't even kiss Greg until they pulled me in to be, intimate with them. I felt bad for her. I was like, that's manipulative and that's just using her. That's just using her. So yeah, Greg, you never legally got in trouble as of yet for any of that. That does not in any way, shape, or form mean that what you did is okay. There's still a lot of laws in the country. There's still a lot of like R-word laws, where you're not very nice to minorities, please infer, that are still there. Now, granted, hopefully. Like, for instance, there's a place near me in Missouri where there are still, I don't know if there's still, but 10 years ago, there were active laws about if you were a minority, you couldn't be out past dark. Now, when I say active, I don't think anybody ever enforced them, but they had never been removed. So just because you haven't gotten in criminal issues doesn't mean you haven't done something wrong. And this is what happens when you have somebody who becomes too successful too quickly, looks at themselves as a godlike character. They get drunk on their own power. They don't take that time away to look at themselves. One of the best things I could have done for myself, as much as there are parts of me I'm upset about it, but I'm so glad I took time when I was sick to remove myself from YouTube and do a lot. First of all, focus on my health. Focusing on getting better allowed me to do the self-reflection because I was in such turmoil for being sick and having no family support, and still having no family support. I was in a lot of emotional turmoil, which sucks, but it is what it is. And that was the best thing I could have done for myself. He never took that time. Instead, he just doubled and tripled down and didn't allow himself to grow, and I think this is what happens. Now, does that mean Greg is going to be done with YouTube? Well, every time Greg has been removed from somewhere, he comes up with some other scheme. So we'll see. I don't know. Maybe he's going to try to pop up somewhere else. Maybe he has some savings. Who knows? He seems to be horrible with money. Where he can go and try to promote himself somewhere else, put some money behind it. But I don't know. The rumor is that Kai left him high and dry. Go check out my video from earlier, by the way. I actually made the prediction. I'm like, if Kai hasn't left already, I think something is going to kick Kai off to have Kai remove themselves. I hope I'm doing the pronouns right. I'm trying. So I'd said this earlier. Now I'm sorry, my brain's getting mushy because I stopped there and then my train of thought stops. I'd said this earlier in my video that I think the final nail for this, in this grandiose coffin that is Onision, is Kai finally coming forward. I think Onion has held all the cards and the power because he's had the money. This was the last thing to remove all financial incentive of him doing this. And I think Kai might finally be in the position, especially because we know Kai loves money. As we remember from Jacqueline Glenn and even Onision, them saying things like when Greg is verbally not nice to her, he pays her off. This might be what Kai needs, that push that Kai needs to really finally break away. And if Kai did that and Kai came clean and struck a deal, I think we might actually see some justice. I think this is also one of those great stories to show when all hope looks lost with something. Remember, in my opinion, you don't have to believe this, I think there's a greater, higher force that works for the betterment of people. The unfortunate thing is sometimes you don't always see it, or sometimes it works out horribly and it doesn't make sense, right? And it's just nice. So many things, you see the worst of it and it ends in a horrible way and you go, well, what was the point of that, right? Like you hear people say this about spirituality. Well, if God existed, why did God allow this, this, and this? And I get it. I get mad too. There are things I'm upset about right now in my life and in the country and for your lives, right? And I'm sure you guys feel the same way. But I always have this belief about things like this. I always come from this mindset, or I try to, of even if I can't see it, there's a greater good at work, even if it looks bad. It doesn't mean you can't be upset about something bad, right? It's just so many times we have to see the worst happen, and a lot of us have, and not everybody, a lot of people don't believe in any spirituality or religion, more power to you. But the people that do, like me, there's a bit of a blind faith in the sense of I'm just going to, and maybe for me it's just kind of how I deal with the mental stress of things is I'm going to choose to believe. I don't have evidence for this necessarily in this scenario, but I'm going to choose to believe this can work out for the best and highest good. And I think there might have been a lot of us that felt a little sad at the end of this Onision series because it was like, episode 3, nothing's going to happen. And boom, a day or two after it drops, he's done. A part of me is sad for him because I said this from the beginning of my coverage with him, and I will continue to say this forever about Onision. I don't wish him or his family any ill will. I was kind of hoping that he would take the time to change and make a redemption story for himself. I really, really hoped that we could see a better person emerge from this. But here's the kicker, you gotta want that. Onion never wanted to be a better person, he just wanted to be right. He wanted to be right, and he wanted to just continue on a destructive path for himself and the people and around him, and it finally caught up. So, does this mean Onion's done? We'll see. He's intelligent and he's creative. I know he does dumb things, and I know he makes a lot of bonehead moves, but he is intelligent and he is creative. So I think he could possibly find some other scenarios. I don't know, but with free speech being so clamped down upon in this country, I think it'd be a hard sell. I don't know. Now, there are 2 other things I want to address concerns. I think, again, like I said in the earlier video, prediction, next step is Kai comes forward. Well, and even if Kai doesn't publicly come forward, it would come out somehow because Kai would actually go to the police about all this. And with Kai's father being a lawyer, and I don't know what type of law Kai's father practices, but I would just assume, even if he doesn't practice the kind of criminal law I'm referring to, because every lawyer a lot of times specializes in certain things, right? Regardless of all of that, he would have connections. And I'm sure those connections have connections. They would be able to help Kai strike deals so that Kai could come forward with as much evidence and info as possible, get a lesser or no issue, and then Onion actually has to pay some consequences. Onision might not have, up until this point, might not have been charged with anything, but it doesn't mean what he did is right. But I am concerned, and I'll tell you why. So when a lot of the censorship started, the first person that was really removed was Alex. Remember? Firearms! Alex. My last name might be Jones. I'm actually even scared to say his name. And that was kind of, and a lot of people were like, a lot of people agreed with him getting kicked off. And I could understand some of the points as to why. Like, I could get it, right? There are certain things I actually like about Alex. There's certain things I don't like about Alex. That's just, I try not to look at anybody as an ultimate victim or an ultimate villain. I try to see people on an even playing field if I can. But what I find interesting, is that was kind of the kickoff. And one by one, more and more people got kicked off and were censored, and some of it looked unfair. I think we can all agree with that. And one by one, we have had to really not voice ourselves the way that we naturally would on YouTube. You guys know I love to curse, and you guys hear me not cursing. It's not necessarily by choice, because I do, and I love to be creative with cursing. That's always how I've been. But I'm trying to abide by YouTube's rules. I've been saying for a while, a lot of these really nasty, negative drama channels in the next couple years will not be here. I think a lot of them will not be here anymore. What if this is the start of that? There are even people that have criticized Onision. I am not going to name names, I don't think I need to, who have a lot of R-word content, who have a lot of defending R-word type of things, a lot of attacking people over really stupid things or lying about them, bullying. A lot of these people who covered Onision do a lot of those type of things. I wonder if this is the start of the removal of that kind of behavior, or if because this on some level went mainstream that YouTube stood up and took notice and said, okay, this is a bad look, bad PR. And I could say, I think this is where it's hard, because I think it's a double-edged sword. On the one hand, I think all the people that we've covered him, all of us should congratulate ourselves, because we've been a part of helping get this person who's been very predatory and continues to somewhat removed off this platform. I think that's positive. What are the farther reaching implications? Because it seems like in today's society, everything has a consequence. Is this going to be a consequence to YouTubers? So if you make a video that YouTube deems disrespectful, is this going to happen to you? And that, I would say, is my big concern. Otherwise, I'm happy. I'm happy this has happened. But how far does it go? And how the mob has been wrong about some people that they cancel. Could YouTube go the opposite extreme? Instead of they're going to just bury their head in the sand, just start removing everybody. But see, that wouldn't be good for business for YouTube. But then again, YouTube gets to choose who they make stars out of and who they make money off of. Ultimately, they're the ones that decide. So if they can decide how, if they really have more power over who they get to make superstars, does it really matter about removing the creators that they think are disrespectful or problematic? I can see the positives and the negatives. That's all I'm trying to say. Like I said, on the one hand, I am sorry that this happened, and for him as a person, as much as he's a piece of crap and he's been mean to me, as a person, I feel for him, because he must be in a really bad place. But this is also what happens when you have that kind of attitude, when you are the type of person that he is, and what he's put out online consistently and had no apology for and defended and continued to do time and time again. So congratulations to all of us. I'm going to go make some chai tea. That is my way of going and getting a drink. I'm going to make a strong, actually today it's going to be more like a light chai tea. Coconut milk. I'll do a tablespoon of cream in there just for fun. A little dessert with some stevia, some green organic powdered stevia, because I am not allowed sugar. At least not for another, how many months? I think it's been 16 going on 17 months of this diet. I have 24 in total. Is that right? Wow, I'm getting there. Yeah. September 21st of 2021, it will be 2 years on this diet, and then I can start to transition depending on how it goes. From that point, with the bacteria in my system, I can start to transition to carbohydrates and sugar, but then we also have to work on hormones and tumor issues. That'll come with another video. That's a fun one, but okay, guys, I think I'll end it here. Things can always change, and I'm happy. I know this isn't the full justice, but it's something, and it's something to be celebrated. So congratulations to all of us who have rang the alarm. I just hope it doesn't come back and bite us. All right. Take care, guys. Lots of love, lots of blessings. If you're feeling sad or upset, then make sure and get yourself whatever's in your closet that looks like this, because I can't not wear this and just smile. I feel so happy in this color. And it's I feel like I'm at the ocean with the sun on the ocean. And I'm like, oh, it feels so nice, especially because the weather's crap here in the middle of the country nowhere. I'm going to go. I keep saying I'm going to go. Do you all do this? I do this on the phone where it's okay, well, I should get off here. And then it's 30 minutes later. I hate that. All right, I'm actually going to go. Okay, love y'all. Hugs and kisses and all the good stuff, and goodbye. If I don't do it, I'm not going to end it. I'm still doing it. Bye, guys.